Okay, everybody, welcome to week 5 in BUAD 200 digital marketing. This is the week when we talk about search engine marketing and all of the different facets of paying for marketing on search engines like Google. So let's just quickly have a look at our schedule. We can see here we are in week 5, paid search marketing. Next week, we are going to be looking at review and our exam. So get ready for that, guys. Chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 13 are going to be covered in that exam. We've also got the first part of the assignment coming up, so make sure you're on top of that as well. Let me know if you have any questions. epi@okanagan.bc.ca is my email. So just having a look at the objectives for this one, we're looking at the steps or the process to create a search ad campaign. We're looking at the steps for targeting customers. We're looking at the bidding process, an ad rank. We'll look at different business objectives that can be met with paid marketing, different ad formats, payment models, and ad types, and then how and where to publish ads. So a couple of questions here to start with. Is it more important to have a high volume of traffic or a smaller number of quality leads? Think about that for a second, because when we think back to our digital marketing foundations, we talked about one of our main things being traffic, our main goals being traffic. But do we want lots of traffic, or do we want less traffic but more converting traffic? So think about that for a second. Kind of depends on what your company is trying to do, what type of industry you're in. That's going to make a difference. But certainly, if you're in the e-commerce space, having customers that convert is going to be more important than getting lots of traffic in. And then the second question is just kind of a general question, seeing if people would know this. How are paid ads ranked on Google? So how do we get the first sponsored ad on a Google search page if we're a company? So you may not know that right now. You can take a guess at it, but that's what we're going to be looking at in this class. So first things first, what is SEM or search engine marketing? Or some people call it paid search marketing. Some people call it PPC, pay per click. So there's a few different titles for it, but essentially it involves paying for ads to be placed on search engines. If you think about Google, when you go onto a Google page, your first 3 or 4 results are probably going to be sponsored ads that basically appear in that space. Now, they're very high converting. They're great for driving traffic towards your site because obviously they will be the first thing that pops up. And if you've targeted the right keywords, that's going to be really, really effective in getting people to your website. When we think about the overall part of it, guys, when we've got multiple ads on Google, we can say that they're ad groups. And then if we're looking at a group of ad groups, we call those campaigns. So just a couple of stats here. The average business gets a 4.4% conversion rate from Google Ads. So when we think about the conversion rates in general of being around 2.5 to 3%, 4.4 is actually pretty effective. People who click on Google Ads are 50% more likely to buy than organic visitors. So if you think about that, people who are organically going to your website, who are just going there potentially to browse or look around, if they're searching in Google, they already know what they want to purchase, right? So they're already going to that with search intent. And if your ad is the first ad that pops up amongst all of your competitors, then that's likely to lead to conversion. So can be effective when done well. And we can see here in 2023, Google Ads generated $237 billion. Billion with a B. So it's big business, guys. It gets lots of return, great conversion, good strategy to use if you're competing with other companies. And again, looking at some of these advantages here, guys, it's got a low cost of entry, so it doesn't cost a ton. It does obviously cost, and it's more the more traffic you get, but it's not like creating a TV commercial where that's going to have a lot of production costs. It's actually got a relatively low cost of entry. The great thing about it is everything is trackable. Anybody who's clicking on your ad and clicking through to your site All of that data is going to be trackable, so we can then use that to target people later on. There is targeted ad placement. So obviously when people are searching for different things, we can use our keywords for people's for our ads to pop up on those searches. And as we mentioned, higher conversion rates. Okay, let's just quickly watch this video from one of the Google tech people that is going to explain how advertising actually works with Google and how you would actually rank your ad based on what information you're providing to Google.
Hi, I'm Hal Varian. I'm the Chief Economist here at Google, and today I want to talk with you a bit about how the ad auction works. So to make a successful auction, we have to reconcile the interests of three parties, and those parties are the advertiser, the user, and Google. The advertiser wants to show relevant ads so that users click on them. The users want to see relevant ads. They don't want to be bothered with spam or other irrelevant material. And Google wants to make a good experience for both the advertisers and the users so they come back and use our services in the future. Now that we understand the motivation of the players, we can look at how their actions are reconciled in the auction. So I'm going to do a very simple example to start with. It's a case where there are three slots, so three positions where ads can appear, and there's four bidders who are competing for those slots. What happens is every time a query is made on Google, we run an auction. And the auction is an auction for clicks. So advertisers only have to pay when they receive a click. In this particular case, we have our four advertisers with different bids, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the ads are ordered in terms of those bids. Highest bidder gets the first position, second highest bidder the second position, and so on. They don't have to pay their bid when they receive a click. They only have to pay the bid of the advertiser below them. So in this particular case, we have the first advertiser bidding $4, but they only have to pay $3, which is the bid of the second highest advertiser. Same thing for advertiser 2 and for advertiser 3.
So just pausing it there for a second, guys. The reason they do this is to stop people putting in massive bids that are going to outbid any of the competition. They want this competition to be strong so people will continue doing it. So that secondary bid is going to be what the top bidder pays.
So in this way, each advertiser can bid their maximum willingness to pay, but what they have to pay is just enough to beat the competition. So I told you that was a simplified version of the auction. Let's try to do something a little more complicated. What's left out of the example I just gave was the concept of ad quality. So remember, users want to see relevant ads, advertisers want to present relevant ads to users, and Google wants both users and advertisers to have a good experience so they come back and continue to use the system. So what we're concerned with at Google is making sure that the ads that are shown to users have a high ad quality. So what is quality score? So there are three components of the quality score, and the biggest one by far is click-through rate. By allowing users to vote with their clicks, we have millions of people who are helping us decide which ads are best for each search query. Google's philosophy has always relied on user feedback as a key driver of decision-making. So using click-through rate and quality scores is our way of incorporating that feedback into ad serving.
And just pausing it again there, guys, what is the reason that people would click on an ad? If it matches what they're actually intending to search for, and if it's a quality ad, if it has good copy in it, good headlines, good information that is going to give them an option to click on something that they're searching for, essentially.
Relevancy is the second largest component of quality score. Both the relevancy of a keyword to the ads as well as to the user's search query. Google determines relevancy by analyzing the language and context of an ad or query and determining how well it relates to keyword. Google uses relevance to make sure that only useful ads are displayed to users, and it prevents advertisers from paying their way onto a search that's unrelated to their product or service. The third component of quality score is landing page quality. An ad is only useful to a user if the landing page that it leads to helps them find the information they're looking for. A high-quality landing page should have relevant, original content, be easily navigable with quick load times, a minimum pop-ups or pop-unders, and be transparent about the nature of your business, how your site interacts with a visitor's computer, and how you intend to use a visitor's personal information. So how does this quality score affect the way the auctions run? What we do is we have a concept of ad rank. An ad rank is going to be the bid of the advertiser times the quality of the ad. So in this particular example, I've got 4 advertisers. They're bidding 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the ads have different quality. In this case, it's a quality of 1, 3, 6, and 8. So to determine the ad rank, we just multiply those two numbers together. And then what we do is we rank the ads by the ad rank. So the best performing ad here is 12. Second best is this ad at 9. Third best is this ad. Then up here, the advertiser is bidding 4 has such a low quality that it doesn't get shown at all. So now we know how the ads are ranked. How much do I actually pay for a click? Well, we use the same logic as in the simple example I presented a few minutes ago. Namely, you pay the minimum amount that's necessary to retain your position. So think of advertiser in position 1. He's competing with advertiser in position 2. And the amount that advertiser 1 has to pay is determined by, here's the price he has to pay, here's the quality of advertiser 1 is going to be just enough to beat advertiser 2 who bids B2 and has quality level Q2. So if you solve that equation, the price that advertiser 1 has to pay, his actual CPC, is going to be the ad rank of the advertiser below him divided by the quality score of advertiser 1. So let's see how this works in a slightly more complicated example. Here we've got 3 advertisers and they're each bidding the same price. So we've got max bid is $4 for each of them. But they have different qualities. In this case, the quality is 8, 6, and 3. So the ad rank is determined by multiplying the bid times the quality to give us ad ranks of 3, 32, 24, and 12. So what determines the price? Well, the price is going to be the ad rank of the advertiser below divided by the quality score of the given advertiser. So in this particular case, it's going to be 24 divided by 8, or 3. In this case, it's going to be 12 divided by 6, or 2. And finally, for the last advertiser, in this example, there's no advertiser below the last advertiser, so the price this person ends up paying per click is just the minimum price that's determined for that auction.
So just quickly before we go on there, guys, don't worry about that equation for how ad rank is calculated. That's not going to be in the exam or anything like that. The idea that we want to take away here is what are the things that we can control in this situation. So we can control how much we bid, and that's going to determine where we actually end up in that ranking. We can also control what our quality of our ads are going to be. So what are the relevant keywords? What is the quality of the landing page there as well? So our website has to be optimized using all of those keywords. Our ads have to be optimized using those keywords as well. and we have to have that original content and all of those quality pieces that make a good website. If the landing page that's connected to the ad does that, then we're going to have that high quality score, and then that's going to add value to our actual bid.
We can use this example to illustrate an important point. What happens if an advertiser increases their quality score by having, for example, a more relevant ad? Well, take advertiser 1. Suppose his quality score goes up to 10. Then his ad rank is going to go up to 40. What happens to his price, the price that he has to pay per click? That goes down to $2.40. So by increasing your quality score, you can decrease the price that you have to pay per click.
So again, guys, just going back to that video there, the quality score, basically all of the things that we have control of, what our landing page is like, if it has good content, original content, all of those things, we can be in control of that. We can change those things around. And if we are improving our quality score, that's going to drop what we actually end up paying for if we win those bids. So a couple of different strategies there, looking at how much we need to pay, how much we need to bid for our ads. And fortunately, when we use all of these platforms, and guys, you'll see this when we do the simulation, it often will give us a recommended bid, which is based on what other people are bidding, sort of the volume of the keywords. So we can look at that and we can bid based on that. Other people will be seeing that as well. So it kind of gives us an idea of a roundabout target for what we should be bidding. And then at the same time, if we're increasing the quality of our ads and our landing pages, we should be doing better and paying less per click. So again, guys, here we can see the algorithm for ad rank. Our ad rank comes down to bid amount and quality score. Quality score is based on the click-through rate, the CTR, so how many people we think are actually going to click on it. It's based on the ad relevance, so having all of the correct keywords in there in your ad, having it set up correctly, and then also your landing page experience, so making sure that your landing page is fully optimized for that ad. Okay, let's move on and talk about keyword research, because obviously the keywords are a key part of what we do if we want to get a decent ad rank. When we're doing keyword research, we're actually trying to figure out which keywords are doing well, which keywords and which keywords are useless. They're not really valuable for us. So couple of things that you can do here, guys, in terms of researching it. So the first thing you can actually do is just jump straight on Google and type in a few different keywords or search terms to try and figure out if it ranks for the intent that you're thinking about. So, you know, if your company is winter jackets, for example, you could think of 5 different keywords there. Actually, let's use this coffee example here. If you've got a coffee company, and you want to see how different keywords rank there, you can jump just on Google and just type in coffee and see what it returns. Are there lots of sponsored ads coming up, meaning that lots of people are targeting that word? Or is it something that doesn't bring up anything? Maybe it's not even really a used keyword. Or are there lots of results for it as well? That's going to tell you how popular that search word is. Just looking here, guys, what we're seeing here is a long tail strategy. So we've mentioned this before, but essentially a long tail strategy is bidding for longer terms. So instead of just going after a keyword coffee, we might go for coffee beans, and we'll bid on that search term rather than just a search word. If we get really long tail, we can see down the bottom there, medium roast coffee beans vacuum pack. So that strategy of using that as a something that you bid on, you might not get lots of people. Like, people might just be typing in medium roast coffee beans. You might not get a lot of people searching for that. But the people that are searching for that medium roast coffee beans vacuum pack, they are likely going to convert because it's very, very specific. They already know what they want. You've now targeted it. So when they actually search it and they find it with your company, they're going to click on it and they're going to buy directly. So, guys, there's two different strategies here. You could go very broad and just go short tail and just have coffee as your main keywords, or coffee beans, for example. Or you can take this longer tail approach where you're not getting as much search traffic, but the people that you are getting are more likely to convert. Uh, while you're doing that search, guys, while you're looking for those keywords on Google, you'll want to look at who your competitors are because they're the people you're going to be bidding against. So, how many companies are bidding on coffee beans? So, we want to see what the sponsored ads there are for coffee beans. We want to look at our ability to compete. So, if Starbucks is coming up every time with coffee beans search, that's a big company. Are we going to be able to compete with them? Are we going to have the financial ability to compete with their bidding? If not, maybe we want to take a long term strategy and focus on longer terms rather than those more general terms. We want to categorize the data by intent. So, what are people actually intending to do when they put in those search words? So, if somebody puts in the search the keyword coffee, what are they actually trying to do there? Are they trying to find a local coffee house? Are they wanting to buy coffee beans? Are they thinking about getting into the coffee manufacturing industry? We're not quite sure exactly what they're trying to do with coffee. If we get down to vacuum pack coffee beans, now we're starting to figure out what their actual intent is. We know that they might be actually looking for coffee beans and they want it in a specific style. So it's with these long tail searches, it's easier to figure out what people are actually searching for, and then we can target them based on that. So a couple of different things. Are we looking for buyers, people actually ready to buy? So as I mentioned, those long tail searches like medium roast coffee beans vacuum pack. Are they shoppers? Are they looking around to compare things? That might be the medium roast coffee beans. Or are they just browsing? Maybe they're just in the coffee bean area there as well. So try and figure out, guys, where your audience is in their customer journey. Are they just at the awareness stage, just trying to find information? Are they considering things? Are they comparing products? Are they ready to purchase? Got to think about where they're at in terms of their intent. We want to think about a couple of different areas here, guys: the geography, the device type, and the timing. So, where are they searching from? Is it a local search? Are they in a different country? What type of device are they using? Mobile versus desktop. That can have a difference in terms of how people search. Think about, guys, voice searches on a phone. Often people will ask their phones questions rather than just go to Google and type a word in. And then what type of time of day they're actually searching for information. And then obviously we want to kick on from that. We want to choose our keywords based on all this information, use them, bid for them, and then monitor how we go with that. So we're going to be doing all of these different steps as part of the simulation, which is quite interesting. Guys, when we want to analyze our keywords, which we'll look at next, or even find keywords, there's a couple of different tools here, websites that we can look at that will give us information about keywords, popular keywords, how they rank. SEMrush is one of the biggest ones. You can actually analyze websites and see what keywords they're using, what their traffic is, what they pay, how many backlinks they have. So SEMrush is a really big search engine analysis website. Ahrefs is very similar. Ryan Robinson is something similar, focused more on keywords though, and WordStream focuses on keywords as well. All of these have free options, but most of them you have to pay to get all of the information. But I would, in terms of a industry standard, SEMrush is probably the biggest one in terms of finding the most information. Okay, So once we've found all of these keywords and found information about them, now we can start analyzing them to try and figure out a strategy. So we mentioned search intent, guys. Are our keywords aligned with what people are looking for and what we have to offer? So if people are searching for Galaxy tablets, are we actually using those keywords on our website if we're selling Galaxy tablets? Are we taking a longer tail approach here? Samsung Galaxy Tablet 10.1. Is that the most current version that people are looking for, right? We can see here the average monthly searches for the second one here is quite high. So there's high competition there. And our bid is down here at 116. We want to look at the historical average, so the search volume. So we can see in this column here, guys, and different websites will show this in different ways, but the volume of searches, obviously, if lots of people are searching for it, that's going to give us more ability to get to those people, but it also means more competition, and it also means we may be less likely to convert them because their search intent might not align with what we're selling. The competition, obviously, guys, again, comes down to volume. High volume keywords often have high competition. And the historical cost per click of these keywords. So that's kind of similar to our suggested bid here. Search engines that, or AdWord engines that allow you to create ads will often give you a suggestion on what they think. And that's based on the historical cost per click for the keywords. Okay, moving on here, guys, looking at a Google Ads account structure. We kind of talked about this at the top here, but right at the top, we've got our account. So that's our company account. Once we create our company account, we'll want to set up different campaigns. So a campaign might be like a campaign you're doing this month versus a campaign you're doing next month. So something that you might be running for a longer period of time. Within those campaigns, we're going to have multiple ad groups. So we can see there, maybe 7 to 10 ad groups per campaign. So we're testing different styles of ads within that campaign to see which ones are more effective. Within those ad groups, we're going to have different keywords, and we can test again the different keywords in different ads there. So we've got ad A, ad B. We may have 20 keywords per ad group. And then for all of those, we're going to have a landing page that connects to it. So all of these different ads, we're testing different ads with different keywords, different headings, different metadata, descriptions, things like that. They're all linking back to this one landing page. But the reason we're doing multiple ads here is to do some A/B testing. So we're actually trying to test which keywords work best for our customers. So the next time around, we can optimize that and do better. Okay, just a couple of mentions about the types of ads, the payment models that are available around. So, because we could do it pay per click or cost per click, PPC or CPC. So basically, that system is where you only pay if people click on the ad. That can be good for companies that aren't in a rush, that aren't trying to get high conversion. It is good for getting views. So basically, you leave it up there, and people, when they click on it, you pay for it. So not as great for conversion. If you're trying to get somebody to do a specific action, you could do a CPA, so cost per action. So you only pay when people actually complete the action. So like if you wanted somebody to download a file on your website, you could pay per action. So it's a cost per action. And when people do that, you actually pay for it. So it's going to be cheaper, and it's going to get people engaged there. And it's good for user acquisition, getting emails and things like that. Cost per engagement, CPE, is kind of similar because you are looking to get them to take an interaction. So it could be clicking, liking, or sharing. Obviously, that's going to be a big one with social media. We may be looking at a CPM, which is cost per mille, which is a French word for 1,000. So basically, this is getting 1,000 impressions. Now, guys, you might be like, what's the difference between an impression and a page view? So somebody actually seeing the page versus someone seeing an element on the page, right? So if somebody scrolls down a page and they scroll past an ad, that's going to give you an impression versus a page view. So someone scrolls down a page and then scrolls back up and then scrolls back down. That's 3 impressions versus 1 page view, right? So if you're getting 1,000 impressions, that means people are going to your site quite a lot, and they're going past those ads quite a lot. But you're paying per 1,000 impressions there rather than a page view. You could do an optimized cost per mille. So in this situation, you're trying to get 1,000 impressions, but you're using targeted analytics. So you're actually targeting people with a flexible ad bid. So you're trying to get people to look at specific ads, which is great for conversion. Cost per lead, CPL. Again, guys, that's a different action that we want people to take, is actually give us their email information. And then another important metric there, guys, is return on ad spend. So how much you actually making from your ads. It's important to know that, because if you're not making enough money in your profit margins to cover that, you need to change your model. Okay, let's move on here and just have a look at the steps in an ad campaign. So, number 1, do your homework. We talked about keyword research. We want to make sure that we've got all of the branding and identity for our ads and our landing pages completely set up. So, the branding that's in the ad needs to match the branding on the landing page. So, we need to make sure that we've got all of that set. What's our unique selling proposition? So, what is the value that we're offering to people? And are we using keywords that match that? We want to look at what the competition is doing. And remember, guys, with these ads, we only have 3 lines. We've got a heading, a subheading, and then a description. So how are we going to get the best impact out of those 3 lines? Second one is to define our goals. What are we actually trying to do? Are we trying to get people to convert, purchase something, subscribe to something, get a lead? Are we trying to get them to go to a specific page? What are we actually trying to do with our ads? The third one is, what's our budget? Obviously a big one. How much money do we have to spend? How many people are in our target market? Important, because if everybody's clicking on it, if we're getting all of that volume, and we're using a pay-per-click, that's going to end up being expensive. And if we are not getting enough conversion out of that, then we're not making our money back, right? So what type of return on investment do we want? And what do we want to pay per click or per action? We need to think about our targeting strategies. So as we mentioned before, guys, when we're looking at the keyword research and analysis, what is the search intent? Why are people actually putting that information or that search term into the search engine? What are they actually wanting to do with that? So we need to make sure that we are using the right keywords to get the right people. And then we also we can set up settings to target different devices. If we're a local company in Kelowna, for example, we want to put our keywords onto local sites. So yeah, we want to make sure that people are actually finding us in the search menu when they're searching for things like Kelowna. Okay, next part is to create an ad. We'll talk about different types of copy in a second here, but guys, they obviously have to be relevant. That was one of the ad rank features. We need to make sure we put in our keywords. We want to think about what our URL and landing pages look like. We want to make sure we've optimized all the metadata on those pages and those ads to also include keywords. Sixth part is to bid for our ads and keywords. So we need to set what our bid limit is going to be, how much we want to pay for it. We want to set a daily budget if it's an ongoing ad. And then we can set the settings if we want to choose whether to manually bid or automatically bid. Again, guys, we talked about A/B testing. So we want to make sure that we are monitoring these results, analyzing them, and doing A/B testing. So when we create ads, we want to create multiple ads. We want to create multiple ads so that and with the same keywords and same landing page, so that we can test one ad versus another to see which one is more effective, and then we can kind of test it on the customers that we have, and then hopefully that would be more effective in the future. Okay, and last one here, speaking of the future, is optimizing. So we look at the strengths from different campaigns, and then we optimize in the future. So maybe using those keywords, setting up our landing page in various ways, looking at different descriptions or headings, looking at what works best, and then including that in future campaigns. Okay, just quickly looking at ad copy. If we look at this Geico ad here that's popped up, we can see, guys, this is paid search marketing because it's got it here as a little ad. So the repeating keywords here, we've got quote, free, free and discount. I kind of connected there. Yeah, so there's a few different keywords that are popping up here that we already see are relevant. So obviously Geico has looked at this and thought people want quotes. People are actually searching so that they can find quotes. So they've included quotes, and we can see quote again here. We can see discount again here. They've included those a couple of times so that that ad ranks more highly for relevance. A few different things there, guys. Speaking to people's intent, what are they actually trying to do? Okay. The unique value proposition for these insurance companies: Geico, 24/7 service. Progressive, they've got saving $750 per year. State Farm's got free quotes. So that's the unique value that they have included in the descriptions of these ads. And a term I don't think we've brought up just yet, guys, but a CTA is a call to action. So what are our calls to action here? What are the terms that are trying to get people to actually take action? And if we look in our ads here, guys, we can see get a quote, get a free quote today. So we've got a couple of calls to action there, telling people what to do. We can see compare UTAR quotes. Yes, switch and save. Fast free quotes available. So it's giving you lots of actions. Get a free quote if you dare. So there's lots. Oh, we'll just go back there. There's lots of calls to action there, guys, which is a recommendation for ads, getting a call to action in there, which essentially drives people to take that action. Okay, so ads, guys, often have lots of different elements to them. Here's a search for rugby headgear. But if we look at that, let's have a look at a couple of the things here, guys. We've got our headline. So that's going to be important, and we'll put some tips in for what we should do for headlines. We've got our descriptions, also important. We can use images these days. Make sure they're high-quality images. Our little favicons here, guys, which display our website. That can be great for brand recognition. We've got calls to action, which we just mentioned. Shop our wide range. Some site links, which will definitely help people understand what the URL is. So again, making sure that our URLs are well optimized. We've got little snippets here. So basically additional elements that will try and get people to actually click on that ad. So in this case, they're giving a bit more information on 30-day returns. Price is obviously going to be important. We've got some promos that you can put in again, which, like a snippet, is just a little bit of additional information. So, guys, these are different elements that we can include in our ad. We don't always need to include all of it, but the more that we're putting in there, the more we should be able to get a wider range of people and give them information that potentially makes them click on our ad. Okay, here we go. Some tips for your ads. So, headlines, guys, we can see here Okanagan wine tours. When we're talking about testing ads, A B testing, we want to come up with potentially 8 different types of headlines. So we might be doing an A, B, C, D, E, F, G testing with different headlines to try and get people in. Now, what Google will do is it will rotate through those different headlines, testing them each time, and you can see how each of them work. Yeah, 25 characters, guys. We don't want them long. We don't have a ton of space there. So 25 characters is the recommendation for headlines. And then we also have a subheading here as well. So that is similar recommendations to the headline here. Our descriptions here. So we've got our description here. You can see, just make sure we got the mouse on there. So guys, again, we want to maybe create up to 4 different descriptions. These are longer, so we don't need as many. And they can be up to 90 characters long, but we want to be able to test different descriptions to see which ones work better. If we're looking at PNGs, guys, we want 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels, so make sure it's a high quality image. We want to have calls to action, so when we're putting in our subheadings, we can use a CTA there, a call to action, rather than putting in something with keywords. Phrases like learn more, try now, sign up now, buy now, those are all going to work well as calls to action. And then make sure, guys, our site links are connected to our keywords. So we've got Okanagan wine tours here. We've got Okanagan here. And our calls to action are all connected. Again, guys, relevance, important. Okie dokie. I'll put this video up, guys, but we don't need to watch this here. This kind of talks about a strategy that IKEA took, but you guys can watch this in the slides if you want. But this kind of goes into a strategy that IKEA used. Apart from that, guys, make sure that you are doing the quiz for the week. And that you are working on your assignment 1.1 and that you're getting in the study for the upcoming midterm exam. Please let me know if you have any questions. Again, epi@okanagan.bc.ca. I hope everybody has a great week.